Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flake Show. My name is Chris Wong. Today's news is pretty big. If you're into TV, if you're into DC Comics, if you're into the DC Universe, not specifically movies, but we'll get to that a little bit. This was announced today. Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment have announced that their upcoming DC digital service officially has a name now, and it's simply DC Universe. Not extended, just DC Universe. This is the website is already up. You can go and check it out. I'll put the link down in the description below. They basically say this: the ultimate DC membership, DC Universe, is a first of its kind immersive digital experience designed just for DC fans, with a membership including unlimited access to the following exclusive original series: Titans, the live-action TV series based on the Teenage Heroes; Young Justice Outsiders, the long-awaited continuation of the fan-favorite animated series; and Harley Quinn, an all-new animated series starring the villain turned anti-hero. The site for DC Universe notes that the service will offer even more to fans as well. DC Universe is expected to launch later this year. So this is all coming from comingsoon.net. First, we'll go over Titans. Titans comes from executive producers Akiva Goldsman, Jeff Johns, Greg Berlanti, and Sarah Girl. In the action-packed series, Dick Grayson emerges from the shadows to become the leader of a fearless band of new heroes, including Starfire, Raven, and many others, not Cyborg. Fans can expect Titans to be a dramatic live-action adventure series that will explore and celebrate one of the most popular comic book teams ever. In Young Justice Outsiders, the teenage superheroes of the DC Universe come of age in an animated world of superheroes, supervillains, and super secrets. In the highly anticipated new season, the team faces its greatest challenge yet, as it takes on meta-human trafficking and the terrifying threat it creates for a society caught in the crossfire of a genetic arms race spanning the globe and the galaxy. Equally praised by critics and viewers for its impressive visuals and rich storytelling, Young Justice reached more than 25 million unique viewers in each of its 2 seasons on Cartoon Network. This passionate fan support sets the stage for the new 3rd season. I'm actually really glad they're getting back that into it and getting more seasons for that. The Harley Quinn animated series will feature Poison Ivy and a number of familiar DC villains and heroes. The series will be written and executive produced by Justin Halpern. Patrick Schumacher and Dean Lorey will focus on Harley after she finally ends things with her love partner in crime, the Joker. She attempts to become the criminal queenpin of Gotham City. Now that's an interesting one. I wonder who's voicing Harley Quinn. Is it going to be Margot Robbie? Does she have time, or is it going to be Tara Strong? You know, let's see what happens with that. So mostly, yeah, there's 2 animated and 1 live action, and another live action that is just been announced as well, and that is Swamp Thing. Yeah, Swamp Thing is coming back as a live action. This is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Mark Verheiden and Gary Dauberman will pen the script and serve as showrunners on the live action drama. DC's Entertainment's forthcoming SVOD service, DC Universe, is bringing one of the most beloved comic book characters to the small screen. Following a months-long deal-making process, DC Universe has put DC Comics' Swamp Thing into development. The drama, based on DC characters created by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson, has a script to series order. That means if the script comes in well, the project would then be picked up straight to series. Mark Verheiden and Gary Dauberman are attached to co-write the script and serve as showrunners of live-action drama. James Wan of Aquaman and Conjuring will executive produce alongside his Atomic Monster banner topper Michael Clear, with the company Rob Packett set as co-exec producer. Verheiden and Dauberman will also exec produce. The drama follows what happens when CDC Researcher Abby Arcane returns to her childhood home of Houma, Louisiana, and I hope I say that right, in order to investigate a deadly swamp-borne virus. There, she develops a surprising bond with scientist Alec Holland, only to have him tragically taken from her. But as powerful forces descend to Houma, intent on exploiting the swamp's mysterious properties for their own purposes, Abby will discover that the swamp holds mystical secrets, both horrifying and wondrous, and the potential love of her life may not be gone after all. Now, this is very interesting as James Wan is part of this project. Perhaps maybe his work on Aquaman had set the sights, Warner Brothers had set his sights on them, and watch Aquaman says, you know what, this guy does it well. He's a great balance of superheroes and monsters and horror, and in that sense, so let's get him on this project, and maybe one of these passionate projects that he wants to work on. How heavily he's going to be involved in this the show, aside from being executive producer. Being executive producer, there's so many different types of ways you can be executive. You can either be executive producer by being in the background, or actually having a name to the project, or actually actively putting their hands within the project. But it looks like, judging from James Wan's Twitter announcement, that he is a little bit more involved with that. He is more excited about that. So I gotta say, I think he's gonna be more involved with Swamp Thing than before. I don't really know Swamp Thing from the comics per se. I'm actually watched remember that show, TV show that used to be on was it a USA Network or Sci-Fi Channel? So that's the one I remember the most of live action Swamp Thing. So I'm very interested to see what that adaptation is going to look like. The effects on that, is it going to be more CG? Is it going to be more like how they did Brainiac and Krypton, more of that type of cosmetic and suits and physical suits and stuff like that, so costumes and such. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's all super interesting. Now, what happened to Metropolis? Remember Metropolis? It was going to be based on DC characters following Lois Lane and Lex Luthor before Superman. Another before Superman. There's never anything after Superman except Supergirl, but that was like, it's not really a Superman show. So it looks like that's going back to redevelopment. Not sure if that's gonna come out with this whole service. For most part, they've only shown all the four title pictures that you're already shown. The Titans, we've got Young Justice, Harley Quinn, and Swamp Thing. So those look like are ready, set to go out of the gate once DC Universe opens. Now, this is interesting. So DC Universe, they're calling it DC Universe. It's going to be a programming. They've never really mentioned DC Extending Universe to be an actual name for the DC films. They just pretty much call it, this is DC Films, right? They never actually said this is part of that universe. Now, DC comics are notorious for having multiverses, right? And that's why when we watch The Flash, for us anyway, The Flash, Supergirl, Green Arrow, we can understand that being not part of the movie universe. This is not like Marvel, where there is, in terms of Marvel right now, where Fox Deadpool, that's different, but things like on the Netflix series The Defenders and all those, they're part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they talk about the cinematic universe, but it's not it's not the other way around. Like the movies would never mention, there's a guy named Iron Fist, there's a guy named Daredevils around New York City and stuff, so they never mention that. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does mention the movies, but it doesn't go the reverse round. Now, we thought Agent Coulson might have shown up in Infinity War, but no, he's still dead. And yes, he's going to be showing up in Captain Marvel, but that's in the 90s, so that's when he was still alive. So it's not like they're actually looking at the the TV shows of Marvel and saying, you know what, they're part of this universe. No, it's the other way around. It's like these little TV shows are looking up at the cinematic and says, please, we're in your universe. We're talking about you. But the other was like, no, that doesn't exist. So, which is fine, but it's a little bit harder that way, because if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will have to constantly try to adapt to big changes that happens in a cinematic universe, while the cinematic universe doesn't care what you do. They're going to do their own thing, and they just have to follow that suit. So, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., some people may disappear because of Thanos, snap, doing that. So that could happen. But in the DC universe, it's different. It's more, I guess, knowledgeable for the fans in terms that there is multiverses, there's different universes, different Earths. So there's possibilities of having all these different types of Flash, different types of Superman, different types of Batman, stuff like that. So with that in mind, DC Universe is the shows in DC Universe, the live action ones anyway, are they connected to the film universe? I like to say no. They're probably not, just like how the CW, just like how Gotham is not connected in any way to each other. Only the CW shows are together. Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Green Arrow, and Flash are all part of that universe. Gotham is its own thing. DC Films is their own thing, and possibly DC Universe is going to be their own thing, and Krypton is going to be their own thing. There's the only little patches of multiverses. So with that being said, then why can't they have Cyborg in Titans? Right? Why isn't Cyborg in Titans? Cyborg is in the DC Films universe, and that he is part of the Justice League, right? So, and they've already had Superman in Supergirl. And they're probably going to have Batman. Gotham has their own Batman thing going on. So why is it so hard to just... It's Titans. Titans has Cyborg in it. Why can't they cast the Cyborg and put him in there? Like, they're still... If they're feeling like, well, we can do this because this is a multiverse, then with that same mentality, then why do you think people will be confused if there's Cyborg in that universe? That doesn't make sense to me. So then cast Cyborg and put it in there. Unless they are intending this to connect to the DC Films universe in the fashion that they're looking at the DC Films like it exists in their world, yet it's not reciprocated by the DC Films. Just like how Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't actually look at Defenders and say that is canon or in our storyline, while the Defenders look up at the Avengers and like they exist, so maybe something like that could be going on. I'm not saying is Titans going to be the Defenders of DC Universe. We won't know until we actually see it. The costumes looks half and half. Some are great, some are not that great, but you got to see it, because the ones they actually make the marketing for, actually promotions, those are with the lighting and everything, look fantastic. The ones that are behind the sets, not so much, but we got to see the finished product after that. So let's see what happens with this. I'm very interested in DC Universe. I don't know how much it costs for that streaming service. I'll have to look into it, but if it is in any way, because James Wan's also involved in that, there could possibly be connections with the films. Not sure, we'll see. But let me know what your thoughts on that. Do you guys very excited for the DC Universe streaming service, or you kind of like meh and maybe want to have it come out first and see from then on if you're interested in it or not and pick up the service? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.